What up, though? It's your host, Brandon Fresh Dandridge, back with another episode of the Sports Gurus. Let's jump into it. So, I got a jam packed show for y'all today. Of course, we coming off a live weekend when we talking about sports. Um, we just had the NFL season opener kickoff. Today is Friday. I'm recording this on Friday, um, September 8th. So, yesterday, we had the Lions and Chiefs face off for the NFL opener. It was in Arrowhead. The Lions went on the road. I think I'm gonna save that for the end of our segment, and I'll first start off with I'll start with some Piston conversation first, just because the bulk of our conversation is gonna be built around football on this show. So I feel like I'll talk about some basketball first and get that out the way, and then we can get into some football. So in Piston news, we got more video footage coming out from Rico Hines runs. Uh Cade Cunnigham still looks impressive. The biggest thing about Cade that I'm taking away from these runs and looking at him compete with the USA team select team, I think that's what it's called. If I'm not sure, if I'm not mistaken, hey, forgive me. Uh, but the biggest takeaway that I'm taking away from this is Cade's aggressiveness as a scorer. I think me and maybe some other Piston fans can agree that Cade sometimes is very passive, and that's not a negative thing. It's just Cade is such a team distributor. He's always looking to get guys involved and stuff like that. So I don't mind that, but at the same time, when you are the guy that we depend on to go get 20, 25 plus points a night, which that's more than likely going to be your role going forward in the league, then I need to see some aggressiveness, especially like picking his spots. He could pick his spots to be aggressive. Like if you want to be one of those guys that's more aggressive towards second quarter and fourth quarters, that's fine. I can deal with that. Um, but I like to see him get into the aggressiveness right away to set the tone for the team or whatever like that. And I feel like so far, and looking at the footage that has came out from, like I said, the USA basketball and all of these footages that's coming out from these Rico Hines runs, is you do see that aggressive scorer intact, and you see a bucket getter, a guy that's getting buckets. I think it's clear. Uh, I think it's clear. I gotta say this with a little smile on my face, because everybody gotta know that I have a little bias as far as like rooting. I don't want to say bias as far as like analyzing, because I try to remove all biases when I'm analyzing sports, because that does us no justice and really getting somewhere in a real debate, real conversation, a legitimate debate, legitimate conversation. But of course, I'm rooting for Jaden Ivey. For those who don't know, Jaden Ivey is my cousin. Um, so I'm always gonna be rooting for his success above all. But I was doing that regardless whether he got drafted by the Pistons or not. It just so happened he ended up coming to this franchise, and I get a chance to root for my city team and my cousin at the same time. But what I feel like has been established as clear is that it's Cade's team, and Cade's the lead dog. And what I love about the way Lil Cuz, when y'all hear me say Lil Cuz, just know I'm referring to Jaden. So that's who I'm gonna be referring to when I say Lil Cuz. But what I love about Lil Cuz is he accepting the number two role, or the complimentary role, real comfortably. And I think if you listen to the stuff that he said when he got drafted, I think he was always willing to accept that that I don't want to say Robin role. I just want to say that you want A, and you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna play off of you. I'm gonna make it happen off of, you know what I mean. I think he was always willing to accept that, right? And for those of us who've been paying attention to these runs, you will see that except for that one run footage that came out where Cade was kind of like in the corner and Jaden was kind of like going one on one. He had, I think, want to say one of the guards from the Raptors, one of the little guards from the Raptors on him. He kind of stuck him up a little bit, and it was a lot of comments saying, "Yo, Jaden got to kick the ball," and that's true. That is very true. But I mean, it's the summertime. If you're gonna work on being one on one and doing your things when plays don't, do it in the summer. All right, get it out the way now. But what I did see from these runs is Jaden willingness to feed Cade or to make sure that Cade, the offense go through Cade. All right. Um, outside of that, to talk about Jaden, if you've been paying attention to these runs, his 3-point shot has been on point. Like he's been catch and shoot. Like when he comes into the catch and shoots, he's catching them, he getting them up, and they switching all nets. So I gotta love that. I feel like Cade is a better pull up shooter, while Jalen is a better catch and shoot shooter right now. And I feel like that's gonna complement their games well because Cade is more so gonna have the ball in his hands and he'll be able to dribble into his shots. And when he does kick, he'll be Jaden will be able to step into his shots and catch and shoot. So I feel like their games complement each other really well. Stay on the Pistons. Osar, Osar, Asar, Asar Thompson, man. He from day one, he's going to be a top tier defender. I see some first team defenses in his future or second team defenses. You know, sometimes it become a popularity contest at a certain extent. But I see some defensive teams in his future. Boy got lockdown game. He done already checked a couple premier guys in these Rico Hines runs, and he basically put everybody on clamps who he's checked. All right, nobody has really just taken advantage of him. Even when they did get a bucket on him, he made it a tough bucket to get. All right. And what I like about Asar's game the most is he has a game that translates from defense to offense very quickly. Like he can play good defense, get a rebound or get a loose ball, and he's up the court with the vision and athleticism to create finishing plays in the open floor in transition. He's an excellent passer, willing passer. Um, the athleticism is top tier. Is it's not really too much to not like about what Asar Thompson has showed so far with Summer League and these Rico Hines runs. He's shown that he's going to be a perfect complementary piece to Kay and Jaden and Jalen and the rest of those guys. Just playing good team winning basketball. And I feel like in 2 years, a year and two, he'll grow into his aggressiveness as a offensive player because I do want to see I like to see my offensive players with aggressiveness. That's why for as much as not as Lil Cuz get for his aggressiveness and sometimes out of control and sometimes to his own detriment, like if we be honest, you know, he did have a pretty high turnover rate. And I feel like that narrative is overly pushed because he's had plenty of games where he had low turnovers as well, right? And when we compare him to Cade, his turnover numbers are actually lower, right? And not to mention that I feel like turnovers are something that's highlighted when you don't have enough production to counter that narrative. Because in terms of his turnover numbers, they not beyond like something that's average or something that's like if you look at any of the great players, Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, they average 3 to 4 turnovers they whole careers. LeBron James, 3 to 4 they whole entire careers. I think Lil Cuz is like at 3.2. You know, and he led. We gotta keep this in perspective. He led all rookies in assists. So yeah, he does have some growing and grooming to do, but that's just part of maturation and coming to your own as a player in general. So I look forward to seeing him this year and seeing uh him having more players to rely on and him not feeling that pressure of feeling like I gotta force it and get mine because I know little cuz he's a aggressive attack type guy. He a dog at the end of the day. He wanted, you know what I mean? But he still has some polishing to do and some growth. And I'm looking forward to him having that load off of his shoulder that he kind of had on last year to try to win games because he wants to win. You know, he ain't playing to lose, but he'll have some additional help this year. And Cade and Asar and Monty Morris, just all the moves that they made, right? So I don't wanna go off into a tangent too much with that. I'm just gonna say, I'm just looking at my notes right here. I'm just gonna say that I feel like Rico Hines and these summer runs, it's a lot to be excited about. Not enough for you to just be thinking that we gonna make the play in because I don't think that's reasonable this year. I think that's a push for next year, but I think we can have some quality games, make a lot of plays, have some good highlights, excite the fans. That's what we want to do. Just keep building momentum for the future. I'm looking forward to more Rico Hines footage or some more summer footage came out. It was some footage that came out of Killian. Of course, a lot of people in the Pistons fans community they hypercritical of Killian Hayes. So anything Killian is subject to hyper criticism. Uh, I thought I liked the footage from what I seen. He looked very aggressive, looked very sharp, very snappy with his ball handling. Of course, like some of the critics mentioned, we didn't see any like right hand finishing type of deal going on. So, I guess we just gotta wait and see. I mean, seeing some articles and rumors that Killian is uh that the Pistons are shopping him, so to speak. Uh what I got to say about that is who cares? Like I don't really care. At this point, once y'all signed Monty Morris and drafted Marcus Sasser, that was a dead giveaway that Killian time is short and he's in like a prove it situation. So he gotta kind of come out and show it and prove it. So I feel like it's just gonna all handle itself at this point. So anybody that's hypercritical of any of the players that we have on our roster right now, from Killian to Marvin Bagley, who I am actually high on, I feel like it's all gonna work itself out this year. This is your with the let's just say assumption that we have a pretty healthy season, not drastically unhealthy like last year in comparison, then I feel like all of these situations will work itself out in due time. Of course, it's still some time. It's still a month out until the season starts. So some things still can happen. I'm looking forward to seeing some preseason action when it pop up. I haven't looked into the preseason schedule, but I'll do that additionally to get prepared for our next show. So changing lanes, switching over. I'm gonna take us into some college football. Michigan played this weekend. I'm from Michigan, obviously. I'm from Detroit, from Michigan. So I'm a huge Michigan, the University of Michigan fan. I would say like that's my college team. I don't really root for other college teams. I got a few of the colleges that I probably like their teams at different times, different points in times and whatnot, right? But I primarily stick with go blue. I primarily stick with the blue. You know what I mean? So I wasn't really excited about Michigan football. Now I grew up a Michigan football fan. I'm talking like Anthony Thomas, David Terrell. You know what I mean? Like I grew up watching those guys, and then in switching over, BJ Askew's, you know, the Braylon Edwards, the Mike Harts. Mario Manningham. I was with it. I was the whole Lloyd. I was a Lloyd Carr baby. You know what I mean? I came up watching Charles Woodson. My very first time watching Michigan football that I can remember of is watching Charles Woodson return kicks, catch a few passes. Like Charles Woodson was the epitome of what I knew about Michigan as a kid. You know what I mean? So I grew up in that. I watched Michigan win a national championship when I was a kid. Like I only grew up in Michigan glory. So when Michigan did start to take its little downfall, I'm not gonna lie, I was on the wrong side of thinking because I was kind of a little bit tired of Lloyd Carr when it was time for his run to end because I just felt like we needed to switch it up and kind of go into some a more spread. I saw the lane of college football. You know, I was a Florida fan. I was a Rex Grossman baby. You know what I mean? So I I wanted to see, highlights, fast play, woo woo woo. That's what I was into. So I was kind of ready for to see Michigan move on from Lloyd Carr and whatnot. But in hindsight, we saw that spread offense isn't all that it is to win. You know what I mean? Meaning just it's not just the only thing that's effective. And spread offenses struggle when you play teams that have beefy line play on both sides of the ball. You just see that speed complex kind of struggles up against power. And I feel like we have advanced football wise to where we have got to this perfect combination of speed and power and quickness and spread and going back to the under center big body. Like you got to be versatile now as an offensive coordinator, as a coordinator in football and sports in general, in all the sports, not just football. I feel like you got to be versatile these days. There's no one fit all type of thing. Even in basketball, we seen how these 3 points shots. Yeah, it's cool, but when you get to the playoffs, you start seeing how it's big body game. We done seen that we thought the small ball game, positionless basketball was it. And then we see, no, it's still size, still win. Then all we see, team play still win. It ain't just the superstars. The formula is always forever changing, right? And you got to stay ahead of the formula to stay successful or be ahead of the curve on being successful. But not to segue too far, taking it back to Lloyd Carr, we went with Brady Hoke. I think before Brady Hoke we had Rich Rod, Rich Rodriguez. Then we went with Brady Hoke. Then we went with uh I'm not sure if we went from Brady Hoke to Jim Harbaugh. I'm not sure. But okay, so we got the Jim Harbaugh. So when Michigan fell off, what happened was they lost their ability to recruit top athletes and more so top quarterbacks. Like Michigan used to always get a top quarterback to come play for their school, but they went through a cycle of having kind of subpar mediocre quarterbacks, I would say. Um, they did have Denard Robinson for a minute, who was very very entertaining to watch, but the team wasn't as successful, didn't do as good. All right, and they kept losing to teams like Michigan State and Ohio State and all that. But fast forward to where we at right now. Um, we it seems like we kind of made our way back into the upper echelons of the Big Ten. It's not just Ohio State; it's Ohio State and Michigan and everybody else, right? In the Big Ten, and then in the future we got USC and UCLA and all them guys coming. So it's gonna get real interesting then, right? But I was kind of waiting to see when Michigan was going to get this top recruit quarterback to kind of solidify their program and bring it back on track. Because I just felt like J.J. McCarthy was just quite not there. But opening week, J.J. McCarthy shut me the fuck up. Not only did he shut me up, he put me on notice that he can go and win games. We don't got to rely on our run game. We don't got to rely on our defense. I feel like he can go win games. He showed me some throws and some plays that he can make that just gave me confidence. Not to mention, he didn't even use his legs. And we know J.J. McCarthy's got legs. I feel like that's something that Michigan does need to add into their offense more quarterback runs, because if they would have had that kind of built in their system a little bit more, they wouldn't have struggled versus TCU so much in that championship game. TCU came in with a game plan where they was basically shutting down the box and bringing an extra guy, and the only way to account for that extra guy is the quarterback run. That's it. Once Michigan started activating that quarterback run in the second half, I was texting my homie at halftime like, bro, they gotta they gotta utilize the quarterback. They bringing another guy down, and you know what I'm saying. They basically closing off the box. The only thing that Michigan could do was start to utilize the quarterback. Once they start utilizing the quarterback, everything else to their offense start to pop and flow. But JJ McCarthy showed me that he got what it takes. So speaking of TCU, the biggest news in college football was Colorado beating TCU. It was one of the upsets of week one. The other upset was Duke beating Clemson. Duke beating Clemson. I already kind of predicted that Clemson was about to fall off just because I feel like they play in the ACC, and the ACC don't really have a lot of good competition like that. Florida is in the ACC, I believe. I mean, Florida State, I'm sorry, is in the ACC, I believe. So those kind of like the two top teams. You got Florida State and Clemson. Clemson just got knocked off by Duke, you know. So that means that I never really thought the ACC was a power conference, even though it's technically one of the power fives. When we talk about football, I just see the ACC as soft. I feel like they get off on beating around weak teams, and then when they play some of these tougher teams in different conferences, I feel like it shows up, right? And Clemson was the exception to the rule for a while, but I feel like they kind of lost their flair, especially with guys like Coach Prime entering the atmosphere. It's gonna be real hard on those old ball coaches to get the kids there. Cause I feel like Coach Prime got the lure, bro. He got the formula, bro. He know what kids want, he know what kids need, and he know what he needs and how to get that out of kids. When you can motivate kids and you can get them to run through a wall for you, that's saying something. And not only that, when you can cater to the kids' desires and wants, you twofold. So it's like Prime got them on lock. Prime. Let's talk about Colorado versus TCU. Shador Sanders opening game and FBS play. Boy throws up 500, a school record. Gets four wide receivers, 100 yards. Lil Dylan Edwards had 4 touchies on the day, 4 TDs, 4 TDs in his opening game. Colorado put the whole college football world on notice. Of course, they do got to shore up some things. They got to shore up that defense because they gave up a hell of a lot of yards, points, etc. They don't got the line play. The strength is their skills. All right, the strength is the secondary on defense, which the secondary did pretty decent, even though they gave up some yards and stuff. It really was the run that was kind of really killing Colorado on defense. Offensively, they gotta establish the run a little bit more, and I feel like they'll be able to do so versus some different teams. You know what I mean? But that passing game is phenomenal. Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter, two way. Travis Hunter played like over 160 snaps, man. I love the way Dion is catering to his skill sets and not limiting him and not treating him like the typical college athlete or the typical athlete or being the typical coach and trying to limit your player and saying, no, son, I just want you to focus on one side. If you know you got a dog, that's what Coach Prime call them boys. He don't got no captains. He got dogs and leaders. If you know you got a dog, you gotta let your dog off the porch, man. You gotta let him go eat. You gotta let him roam. You gotta let him do what he do. He gotta be a dog. You gotta let him go be a dog. That's the only way he gonna be a dog. if you ain't letting him be a dog, you can't expect him to show up and try to be a dog when y'all in a dog fight. It don't work like that. If you a dog, you gotta be a dog all the time, every time. You know, Coach Prime be getting me hype. He tell you, bro, you gotta dominate to elevate. I play football still, if y'all don't know. So Coach Prime get me hype, just like he get his team hype. You know, dominate to elevate. And I feel like Coach Prime is on the way. Not only that, he put the college football world on notice that them other Travis Hunters out there, he coming to get them. So he's about to shake up the whole landscape of college football. Shout out to Coach Prime. I love what you're doing. Keep doing it. You got the whole culture behind you, all that. So major props to Coach Prime. Speaking of Coach Prime, uh, Antonio Brown, AB. I'm a huge AB fan. Shout out to AB, man. Keep being about them bands, about the billions, AB. You feel me? AB is now on Is What It Is with Cam and Mace. And I watched the first episode, and let me just say, bro, that mug was very highly entertaining. I love me some AB. I love when AB bring us into his world and bring us into the inside world of how the league go and how they respond, all the politics. I love AB just how he stand on what he stand on principle as a man. Like I'm big on respect, man. And AB just AB just a solid guy, man. You know, he get a bad rep, bad narrative. I don't care about none of that. I ain't one of them guys who feed into narratives and feed into reps and stuff like that because when you a mover, when you an energy guy, a high energy guy, you know, you're gonna create some conflict. You're gonna create some some discussions. You're gonna ruffle some feathers. But hey, long as you make shit happen, you you take care of your responsibilities, you doing you. I don't care about ruffling feathers, bro, because that's when a lot of good stuff, a lot of great stuff get created through ruffled feathers. So I ain't tripping about that. I just love that AB came and he always give the people the inside scoop. He don't let you he don't let you just like kind of like fall into the headline narrative. He gonna bring you into the world. Like, no, come on, come walk with AB. Let me show you where I was at when I and he real enough to admit his wrongdoings and his flaws. I love a person who can be real with you and tell you like, bro, I ain't perfect. I did some stuff I probably shouldn't did, whatever like that. But at the same time, I'm a man and I'm gonna stand on this and stand on that. And AB just man, he one of them guys, bro. Every AB interview, I leave astounded and like amazed and more of a fan than I was prior. Uh AB said Dion his idol, you know. That's where he get the swag and how he do him and carry him. He got it from Dion. You know what I mean? AB also said Dion can't see him out there, dog. I don't know about that, AB, dog. Like, but I know how you gotta feel as a receiver. I'm a receiver. I play receiver, so I know how it feels. That confidence you gotta have because can't nobody check me. Like that's how I feel. Can't nobody check me. Like I ain't. I haven't been locked up my whole life. Like that's how I feel. I haven't. I can't name you the person. I could tell you some couple guys who got some good defense, but ask them, did they lock me up? I bet you they better not fix their mouths to say yeah. If they did, then they better line their ass up right there. I'll drop them off right there. I don't care who you is. You my teammate. You hearing this and you won't smoke, bro, just ask for the smoke, bro. Cause I don't think nobody can lock me up, bro. Like I'm too shifty with this mental right here, bro. Like I do the mind game with it. You know what I mean? So hey, we can see. We can see what it is. It is what it is. Shout out to Mason Cam, man. They got a highly entertaining show. So let's get into the Lions news. But before we get into Lions news, let's talk about a couple contracts, major contracts that happened. One, you got Terrence Steele, tackle for Dallas Cowboys. He got an $83 million, $86 million contract. I'm sorry. And I just wanted to bring that up and kind of note that out there because he an undrafted free agent. He was an undrafted free agent pickup, and boy just got an $86 million contract. That just goes to show you that hard work, dedication, preparation, and opportunity can shit. It can change your life. That's all I'm gonna say, man. It can change your life. Joe Burrow just signed the biggest contract in NFL history, most guaranteed money. Um, I'm a Joe Burrow fan, so I don't got nothing to say about it, man. Since he trying to get out ahead of the curve, lock Joe Burrow up. I feel like that's what you're supposed to do when you're a good organization, man. You're supposed to get out ahead of the curve, man. Lock your guys up. Let them know they ain't going nowhere. Let them know you see them valuable and as part as being part of your future plans and whatnot. So shout out to Joe Burrow, shout out to Terrence Steele. Um, I know a guy who's still looking for a new deal. That's Chris Jones. Shout out to Chris Jones, man. Make it hard on him, bro. You done got 2 championships. I ain't mad at you. You off a championship season. I'm not mad at you for saying, bro, compensate me. Give me some chips with some dip. Or I'll just sit at home and chill for a little minute, man. Because I understand, bro. You probably a little older, going into the back end of your career. You want to solidify some stuff financially. You know what I'm saying? You want to feel appreciated on a franchise level. Like you are the stud on that side of the ball. So if they taking care of their studs on the offensive side of the ball, meaning Travis Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes, because those the real studs. It ain't we saw last night that those the studs. So without those two, if you ain't taking care of them, then what is it? If you're not taking care of your star defensive player, then what is it? And I think that just speaks to why Tyreek Hill got out of Kansas City, right? He won a Super Bowl ring already. Like a Super Bowl, winning a Super Bowl is not comparable to other sports. You know what I'm saying? When you win, I feel like it's like a World Series. Like when you win a Super Bowl and you win a World Series, you might not never ever get there again. So you can kind of be a little bit more satisfied with that accomplishment. You know what I mean? Like in those type of sports, baseball and football, you more so playing for your money than you are playing for like the accolades. Now, in a sport like basketball, I feel like it's more accolade based. Like those guys be winning championships because they such stars of their game. Like they get a lot of criticism when they don't get those accolades and still receive all the notoriety in certain other aspects, right? Those guys are judged on their legacy based off of championships, right? Where we got Miguel Cabrera that's about to retire going into his last season for the Tigers. He gonna be a legend in Detroit, no matter what. Like he ain't winning championships. They went to a World Series, I think, once or twice or something like that. But like he gonna be a legend regardless. He ain't have to win a championship. Even though I do think Miguel Cabrera did win a championship with the Florida Marlins before he got here, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, and as you see, once he won his championship, it was easy for him to go to the Tigers and stay with the Tigers because hey, they about to give me that cheese and they gonna keep giving me that cheese. Man, I'm good. They love me out here. Mickey been a fan favorite since he got here, since he touched down. He gonna die a legend in Detroit. All right. So it's a little different when we talk about those type of sports. So again, shout out to Terrence Steele. Shout out to Joe Burrow for getting y'all chips with the dip. I ain't mad at y'all. So now let's go into opening week in the NFL, opening night, I should say rather, between the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, the whole world chose the Chiefs. This is Detroit. Uh we this is the city of SOL. What I mean by SOL is this is the city of same old Lions. All right, not shit out of luck, same old Lions. So because of that, you got a lot of people within, and I wouldn't even say the fan base, but you just got a lot of people within the city who got the morale and who got automatic attitude towards the Lions that they suck. They're gonna be any so it's like a troll atmosphere around the team, meaning that a lot of people troll people who root for the team. So it's just that's just the narrative. It's just a troll going back and forth, right? I'm a realist, man. I'm the sports guru. That's why I made the show, bro. I'm not a fan. I'm deeper. I'm way different than a fan, bro. I root for my city's teams because that's the loyalty in me to root for my city, right? But I don't blindly root for my city's teams, and I don't ignorantly root for my city's teams. Okay, and what I mean by that is on an expectation level. My little cousin played for the Pistons. I root for them every single game. Do that mean I'm gonna lie to myself? I just told y'all, no, they not making a play in this year. They should win 30 to 35 games, and that'll be a successful season. I'm realistic. I'm rooting for my team, but I'm rooting for them in a realistic way. All right. I'm not rooting for them to go to the championship when I know they don't got the ability, they don't got the skill set, they don't got all what they need to be championship contenders. So when it comes to the Lions, I'm the same way as well. Do I root for the Lions? Yes. Am I attached to it so much? I wouldn't say so much, right? But I am attached to it. I do love the Lions. If I had to choose a team to be my favorite, it would probably be the Lions out of all the city's teams, right? Um, but there's years where I'm realistically like not really paying attention to what they doing because I know they don't really have a team or they don't really have a, you know what I'm saying, the ability to be competitive in certain games. So like when they traded Stafford away, I automatically knew like, oh, these next 2 years is about to be shit. It's about to be some bullshit. That first year, I didn't even really watch at all. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie. That 0-10 and then 3-3, whatever it was, I don't care, right? I didn't really watch that year at all. The next year, last year, right? I watched like the first two games. They lost. I think they got. I think the last game that I might have probably watched before they start heating up was that Miami game. And the way they lost that game, I was just like, oh yeah, I'm done with them, man. And then they start rolling. Now, when I say I was done, I don't mean like I was done, like they need to fire the coach, get rid of everybody. No, I had full faith in the coach. I love the coach. I just knew that he needed to get the right pieces around him, right? Eventually they start to do some things to that defense, and a couple players in that defense start to step up and show like, hey, I could be a contributing part of this defense going forward, and we can build on that. Kirby Joseph, Malcolm Rodriguez. You just start to see like, okay, we got a few pieces we can build on. Aiton went nuts this rookie year. James Houston, you just had a couple pieces that just showed, hey, if we can have a solid draft, have a solid free agency, hey, we can have a solid team next year. And lo and behold, they did just that. They came in the draft. They addressed the defense in the draft with Jack Campbell and Brian Branch, first round and third round picks. They addressed the offense with Jameer Gibbs and Sam Laporta, first round and second round picks. All right. They addressed the D tackle situation. It's a future kind of thing that'll probably work itself out. We'll see. We still waiting to see because we just gotta wait and see. But let's get into the game, man. Because I feel like the show is kind of getting long winded at this point. We at close to 40 minutes. So I'm going to try to wrap this up real quick. I'm going to try to be as quick as possible, maybe 5 minutes, 10 at the most. Let's get into the game. The whole world, a lot of the analysts or the experts, they picked the Lions to lose. They picked the Chiefs to win. Though I did see Tony Dungy and Rodney Harrison step out there on NBC football and say that they did see the Lions winning, right? And the reason why is the same reason why I saw them winning. It was like buffoonery to me to see a lot of the troll haters or the self-hate like Lions fans, as I call them, because they really want to root for the Lions. They just don't want to root for a team that disappoints them. That's all it is, right? They kept saying things like, well, y'all only won because they didn't have Travis Kelce and they didn't have Chris Jones or this and that and X and that, blah, blah, blah. Well, a duh. That's why I picked the Lions to win. A duh. That's why I picked them to win. They didn't have their best offensive player, their best defensive player. We should win that game. Did I think it was gonna be a tough game? Yes, I thought it was gonna be tough. We going in the Arrowheads, the first game of the season on the road. We essentially got new pieces to our offense, new pieces to our defense. Yes, I thought it was gonna be tough. I thought it was gonna be a chemistry crunch. Yes, you've seen it, but we gotta see it put together. I felt like actually a lot of people feel like, oh, if the Chiefs didn't drop a few passes, then they would have probably had a better game. And I feel like, hey, the Lions still left a lot of money out there on the table that they could have capitalized on. They had a turnover in the red zone. You know what I'm saying? I took points off the board. That's big. Like, so we could play the what if, and the if was the fifth game, all you want. But I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to really go into the stats and looking at the stats, man, and just seeing what the stats indicated compared to last year's teams, bro. And it looked at like I don't want to go into it and break them down stat for stat because, like I said, the show kind of getting long winded. But the defense posted top 10 defense of numbers all across damn near every category there was as far as averages from the opening night. The offense posted top 10 categories from almost every category they was, you know what I'm saying, for from the stats from the night compared to last season's averages from the top teams offensively and defensively. So, with that being said, all I got to say is this team is for real. And y'all gonna continue to see how real this team is because, like I said, they left a lot of money out there last night. All right, it was a lot of money that was left out there on our side, right? And it was some poor officiating. I'm not the guy that want to come and complain about the officiating, but it was some poor officiating as well. So when you factor those couple things in, you gotta be excited about the Lions. All of their rookies performed. All of their rookies made a play, if not two, that showcase like, oh, okay, this guy's a player. Brian Branch had a pick six. Jameer Gibbs had a couple 10 plus yard plays. Looked very explosive. He had one play that if he didn't fall, he was gonna score a touchdown on. David Montgomery, I liked the way he looked at Sam Laporta. You know what I'm saying? He was making catches, wasn't dropping catches. You know what I'm saying? He had a nice catch where he hurdled the guy for first down. You know, besides like maybe chemistry and accuracy with maybe one or two players, hey, they played a solid game. They was turned. They was turned after the game. CJ GJ getting everything live, popping. You gotta be excited for the Lions this year. Gotta be, all right. They turned into the media darlings. Gotta be excited. They went into week one with a little drama with Isaiah Bugs and whatnot. Um, Bugs, man, wherever you at, bro, whatever went down, man, get it together, bro, because we definitely needed you in that defensive tackle spot, bro. Like we needed somebody there. Aleem McNeil actually had a good game. He actually was a victim of a few blatant hold calls that did not get called. So I look for Aleem McNeil to have a bigger impact in the next game. When maybe the officials don't get the ding ding to hey, we wanted to look like this, look at that. Hey, I'm not gonna say, whatever, right? I'm not gonna say it's rigged. Maybe the officials will have a different script next game. That's the running joke that everybody has, right? So we'll see. Other than that, man, I'm excited, bro. I'm excited for another year. I'm excited. The Lions is making the playoffs this year, man. My prediction is 12-5, 11-6 at the worst. If you want to put some bread on it, man, call me up, dog. Let's put the bread on it, man. Don't talk my head off. Let's just put the bread on it. All right. Anyways, man, that was another jam-packed show for y'all. Um, I'm gonna come back for y'all in a couple days. I'm gonna start getting it done more frequently. I finally got some new software. My girlfriend got in the podcast, so you know what that do. She gonna get the software. We got good software now, so we gonna start trying to upgrade these shows and get y'all a better show for y'all. I'm gonna have some guests on here in the future whenever they get ready, get the schedules together and whatnot. But I'm not stopping the show for nobody. So Won't nobody stop this show. We on the road. We gonna keep it going. Questions, comments, or whatever, hit me up. Don't forget to subscribe, man. Subscribe to the show wherever you listening to, Apple Podcast, Spotify, whatever platform you listening to it on. If it's YouTube, whatever, and you watching it, I don't care, wherever. Just make sure y'all are subscribing to the show so we keep pushing out content, keep reaching more and more people. Share the show with somebody who you feel like to listen to it. Other than that, man, it's your host. I'm Fresh, and I'm out, man. See y'all next time.